Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Star Cub Review. I'm your host, as always, Star Cub. That's me. Now, tonight's one is a special one. As I mentioned in my previous video, I have to apologize in advance for my previous video. I was extremely deprived of sleep last night. On and off, and I just did not get a lot of sleep, and I have a lot on my mind. So my video towards the end may seem a little like I'm on something. I'm not. Let's just clarify that right now. I'm not. I have just not had any sleep. I've not been getting very much sleep, and I was really excited to make that video talking about Ryan Murphy's other shows, and I think by that stage, I had low oxygen to my brain, and I really needed to just have a shower and cool down and relax for a bit. So that's what I did, and now I'm nice and refreshed, and I feel better. Actually, I feel much better. But I apologize in advance for that ending. The ending of towards the end of that video, the new one that I've just posted, comes off a little like I'm not with it and confused and dazed. I've just not been getting a lot of sleep, but I do apologize in advance. But that being said, this one was suggested from a fellow YouTuber and follower that follows me on my channel, and it's Cortazap 2169 has requested that I do a discussion, ranking, rating of the Friday the 13th film series. And I'm really excited about this one because, I didn't think to do one for these films. Really exciting. Absolutely love these films. So let's get into it. So randomly, I'm just going to pick ones first, discuss them, and then what I'll do is I'll do a quick rating and ranking. Okay, so let's go Friday the 13th Part 2. I liked it. Didn't like the fact that Adrienne King, the protagonist from the first one that plays Alice, didn't like the fact that she died 5 minutes into, or couple of minutes into the second one. Kind of disappointing, but then you got a whole host of new characters that, get chopped up, diced up, split in half, all this stuff. The second one is good. And we see Jason with a bag on his head. The infamous bag on his head. Cool. Enjoyed it. One of my absolute favorites, hands down, opening theme song is absolutely amazing. Horror disco, more like it. And that is Friday the 13th, Part 3D. That film is amazing. Love the 3D effects. Love the opening to it. Has one of the catchiest opening theme songs in a horror film I have ever seen and heard. Absolutely amazing. Part 3 was great. Great kills. Story was good. Some of the characters in it were fantastic. Jason finally gets his mask in Part 3. Fantastic film. Absolutely fantastic. And the actor in the wheelchair, I did not know this, but growing up, I didn't realize that he was part of the LGBTQ community. And he was a cutie. I mean, obviously, before my time, but growing up watching him with these films, he was a cutie. He's a cutie in the third film. It's a shame that he died, though. kind of wish that he had lived, because he was a good character. Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan. Ugh. I don't know what to say about this one, other than the fact that I didn't care for it, didn't like it. Kills weren't inventive. I love the fact that Kane Hodder was Jason. Absolutely amazing. So there's that. I think one of the greatest scenes in it, I personally think, is when he's in downtown Manhattan, as they say, and when in actual fact they didn't film it in Manhattan at all. So there you go. Is when he's coming up from the subway and there's those group of rappers that are listening to a big boombox, and he comes along and just completely friggin' kicks it out of the way. Oh my god, that was fucking comedy gold. Absolutely loved that scene. Absolutely brilliant. Terrible film though. Absolutely terrible. Friday the 13th, Part 4. The final chapter. It was great. It was really, really good. I enjoyed it. Great cast, bar one. I did not like Corey Feldman at all. I don't like Corey Feldman. I don't like his work. The only thing he was really great in was The Goonies. But Corey Feldman in this one, in Part 4, just, yeah, no. Didn't care for him, didn't care for his character. Everything else about it, though, was really, really good. Really cool kills, inventive. And it even has Marty McFly's dad in it. Crispin Glover, a young Crispin Glover, doing his funky, weird-ass, funny dance, which was really, which he came up with himself, and they just rolled with it and filmed it. So, big round of applause to Crispin Glover for that dance, because that was genius. His kill was really, really inventive. Like, oh my god, it was inventive. Really enjoyable. Jason X. Let's be real here. The only real prize is Kane Hodder as Jason. Other than that, Jason X sucked. It was crap. That's all I'm gonna say. Absolute crap. Absolute rubbish. Jason in space? Yeah, nah. Doesn't work. Friday the 13th. The first film. That starred a young Kevin Bacon. And also starred Adrian King as Alice. What can I say about Friday the 13th? Absolutely loved it. It's an absolute great film, great twist. Who knew it was going to be Jason Voorhees' mother? So in actual fact, she's the original killer, before Jason ever came along, and became the killer afterwards. So there you go. Kevin Bacon's death scene, iconic. Loved it. It still to this day holds up really well. And with some of the gore being off-screen, but you see the impact later, still did very, very well without being over gory, which is really effective as well. And the makeup on the kills was amazing. Makeup on the young Jason that jumps out of the boat at the end, amazing. Tom Savini did all the work on that. Absolutely love Tom Savini. But Friday the 13th Part 1 is iconic. Great. And Mrs. Voorhees as the original killer before Jason. Love it. Friday the 13th Part 5. A New Beginning. There's things I like about it, but then there's things I hate about it. Very confusing, the direction. Kills were inventive, but essentially, it wasn't actually Jason at all that was the killer, which is a very weird a very weird thing to go down, a very weird path to go down. It's making out as if Tommy Jarvis was the killer as such, and it actually turns out to be someone else entirely. But the Tommy Jarvis that they got for part 5, the A New Beginning, I could not resonate with the actor. I could not resonate. It just changed the dynamic, and I thought he was awful. But other than that, the movie was fine. It was okay. Just, I really didn't like the fact that it wasn't Jason as such, so they pulled that whole card. So Jason took a back burner, because they were probably meaning to go really new and inventive with this one. You know, and the popularity of them skyrocketed too, so what can you do? Friday the 13th, part 7, New Blood. Fantastic film. Loved it. I thought it was great. Kills were great. Story was great. Sort of Carrie vibes with the main character Tina having psychic powers and awakening Jason. Still very weird very weird route to go, but it works. But there is a few things with part 7, New Blood, and that is La Park Lincoln, the actress who plays Tina. She is an incredibly big, huge homophobe, and it was very apparent on set with some of her fellow actors and actresses. And this one, just for your information, this one had a whole cast of gay and lesbian people in it. And apparently she didn't gel well with one of her co-stars and started making jokes about him, homophobic jokes about him. And she didn't get along with some of the other cast members and didn't hang out with anyone else on the set either. So, yeah, there's a documentary on Friday the 13th, and they talked about that as well. But Friday the 13th, part 7, Kane Hodder was Jason Voorhees once again. So that was great. Absolutely love Kane Hodder again. Can't fault him. La Park Lincoln as Tina Shepherd, huge homophobe. She didn't get along with one of her male co-stars, Kevin Spartus, Spartus, and he was Tina's, I think, boyfriend in this one. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but she didn't get along with him and some fellow and she was, apparently hurling homophobic jokes and stuff like that. So that's awful. And to be honest, for what it is, I think she did a great job as Tina, but as a person, I think she's horrible. And there was, in the documentary, they spoke about it and stuff like that, and there was a lot of complaints from other people that worked on the film that said that she was extremely horrible, and they found it very hard to like her and want to talk to her and stuff like that because she was just so horrible. So there you go. Part 7, everybody. Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. Fantastic. Fantastic film. Different actor that plays Tommy Jarvis this time. And that is Tom Matthews. He did an amazing job as Tommy Jarvis. The kills were really, they upped the ante on the kills. More blood, more gore, glorious detail. Really good story. Gets woken up with an electric rod in the graveyard. Lightning strikes it, and he wakes up. Jason's alive. Friday the 13th films are just so fascinating because they really went from him being a normal slasher villain to being a supernatural villain, which is a really big dip, really big change with these films. But I love it. Can't complain, but I have no idea why they decided to go the supernatural route with these films. Baffles me why, but hey, it's fun nonetheless. So I enjoyed that film. That was great. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. This one is a guilty pleasure of mine. It is cheesy as hell. Cheesy as fuck, should I say. Some really cool inventive kills. Some of them are gross. And the way Jason goes from possesses one person to the next, it's just ridiculous. It's mind-bogglingly ridiculous, cheesy. It's like, oh my god, what the hell is going on? It's a movie. Jason Goes to Hell. Jason Goes to Hell. Jason Goes to Hell. 1993. Kane Hodder again. Plays Jason. Fantastic. Stephen Williams. Adam Marcus. Kerry Keegan. John D. LeMay. Now, there was... That's right, Leslie Jordan was in it. He played Shelby. Ha! I think he only got a cameo, though. There is... Who plays... I'm pretty sure... No, I can't think of it right now. But Jason Goes to Hell was... and is still a guilty pleasure of mine. As ridiculous as it is, I like it. Completely bonkers with Jason going from... Jason has a creature thing that comes out of his body and possesses other people. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. But I love the cameo tease at the end with Jason's mask on the ground in the sand, and then Freddy's hand pops up and drags him down, and you hear the laugh, which is teasing Freddy versus Jason all those years from 1993, teasing it, and then it was in development hell for years, and then we finally get to Freddy versus Jason. What can I say about Freddy vs. Jason? It's a great film. It's a great film. I like it. Some of the kills I think could have been better, but it does a great job at the kills that is given to them. Freddy being in it. Robert Englund, of course. Fantastic. It was great to see the two of them on the screen together many years later. Many years later. And it was fantastic. Kelly Rowland getting her slice of death. Fucking fantastic. It was hilarious when she got whacked into the tree. Holy shit, did I did I almost wet myself with laughter. I thought, oh my god, she's going to survive this film. Good on her for surviving. And then, yep, she gets it. Gets whacked into the tree. So that was great. Shame that Kane Hodder didn't get to play Jason again. So that's what I can say. That's all I can really say there is it's a shame that he didn't get to play Jason in that one. Story was good, but also some of it is bad, like bringing the two of them together. It doesn't really explain very well and doesn't, I mean, I think it's non-existent at this point, is that Friday the 13th is set somewhere completely different in Crystal Lake. The Nightmare on Elm Street franchise is set somewhere else entirely as well. So how can Elm Street and they be so close to Crystal Lake to where Jason, you know, supposedly is still in the lake, which is confusing to me. But you know, it's a horror film. It's not meant to make sense. These films are not meant to make sense with a lot of it. I know they had to try and bring it together in a way that, oh yeah, they're not that far from each other. But Freddy vs. Jason was entertaining. Was entertaining enough. Was great. And then it teases the sequel at the end. I want to hear from everybody. Who do you think won? Was it Freddy or was it Jason? Which one? I'm not going to tell you mine. Not yet. And then, of course, we have the 2009 reboot of Friday the 13th. From Michael Bay. Well, he's a producer. And it's from Platinum Dune? Platinum Dune? I think it's from Platinum Dune. Whichever company it was. I think it's Platinum Dune Pictures or something like that. The reboot, or the reimagining as such, was good. I didn't mind it. Could have been a lot gorier than what it was. Story, it mixes elements of 1, 2, and 3. And maybe 4. Maybe 4 as well. It mixed elements. Did I care for a lot of those characters? No. Has Jared Padalecki in it? Meh. I don't really like Jared Padalecki. And I didn't really care for him in this. Didn't really care for anyone in this film, to be honest. Except maybe the sister. But her screaming the entire film just kind of did my head in. But one of the kills were it has some comedy in it as well, which is refreshing, is funny. The horror aspect of it, good, but could have been a lot better than what it is. Other than that, they did alright. Now, rating them. Friday the 13th, the original film. 8 out of 10. Friday the 13th Part 2. 7 out of 10. Friday the 13th 3D, or Part 3. 10 out of 10. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. 9 out of 10. Part 5, A New Beginning. 7 out of 10. Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives. 8 out of 10. Friday the 13th, Part 7, A New Blood, or The New Blood. 9 out of 10. Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. 5 out of 10. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. 9 out of 10. Jason X. 3 out of 10. Freddy vs. Jason. 9 out of 10. And Friday the 13th reboot. Or remake. 6.5 out of 10. Ranking them? Okay. My rank goes as this. Part 3 is number 1. Number 2 is the original Friday the 13th. Number 3 is Part 6, Jason Lives. Number 5, Part 7, New Blood. Number 6, Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Number 7, Part 5, The Final Chapter. Number 8, Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. Number 9, Friday the 13th, Part 2. Number 10, Freddy vs. Jason. Number 11, Friday the 13th, Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. And number 12, Friday the 13th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep. That's my rankings for those films. I've had so much fun with these, ranking them, rating them. They're great films. Some of them are. But overall, as a whole, it's an enduring franchise which has endured a long time, stems from 1980s and goes all the way up until today. Obviously, not... 1980s to where we are today with Friday the 13th going in a completely new direction. And, you know, 80s movies are just fantastic. They're going to be long-lasting, enduring. They're going to have a huge, enduring legacy, which I think that's what appeals to me the most, is 80s horror movies, 70s horror movies, even some 60s horror movies. But 80s, to me, is what I grew up on. Even though I was born in 86, I appreciate 80s for what it is. I'm always going to be an 80s baby, even though I didn't live through the 80s to see all these when they came out and went with friends to theaters to go and see them or sneak in, you know what I mean? I was born in the 80s, but I'm a 90s kid. But in my heart of hearts, I know that I'm an 80s baby, always going to be an 80s baby, 80s kid. Love 80s. Everything 80s is absolutely amazing. And it just goes to show you with a lot of these films, practical effects, everybody. Practical. No CGI, no nothing. Back then, didn't have CGI. They didn't have it. And that's why these films have a lasting legacy over a lot of films that are made today that don't use a lot of practical. They don't use enough practical as it is. Some directors do a lot more practical over CGI, but still have CGI in some spots because it's virtually impossible to pull off, you know, some of the more harder, complex stuff. But back then, a lot of this stuff they didn't have, and they used practical, and they pulled it off really, really well. And Gotta hand it to you. 80's know how to do it, baby. 80's know how to do it. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been another long one, but I'm glad I could share it with y'all, and really want to thank people for making suggestions, because keep them coming. I want to see what else you'd like me to rank. If I haven't seen it, then give me some suggestions of some horror movies that you perhaps have seen that I may like and you want me to review. Who knows? I'm happy to. That's what I'm here for. But thanks so much, guys, for tuning in again. Yes, go and check out my latest videos when I just put on ranking Ryan Murphy's other shows. Again, I do apologize. Towards the end of the video, I come off like I'm on something. I'm not. I'm just really, really tired. But really excited to talk about the same stuff at the same time that my brain's going 100 miles an hour, that I look like I'm on something. But, you know, you gotta laugh. That's why I laugh at this stuff. Other than that, thanks so much, guys. To the person that suggested it, Quarters app, 2169, thanks so much for your suggestion. Feel free to give me some more suggestions, what you'd like me to review next, talk about, and I'll be happy to do so. Anybody else? Give me more suggestions. Gimme. Other than that, thanks, guys. Ciao.